Alright guys, today I want to share with you why I'm thinking about going down the traditional publishing path as opposed to the easy, uploaded now, self-publishing path. Cue the intro. Guys, welcome to Nathan Helberg's channel on writing and becoming a debut author. My field that I love is fantasy, epic fantasy, portal fantasy, all of that sort of good stuff with mythical creatures, orcs and knights and powers and magic and all that those wonderful things. Today guys, I want to share with you, and my channel is all about sharing my journey with you, okay? The ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, learning this whole process of being an aspiring writer and becoming eventually a debut author. Now, I've finished the first draft of my manuscript, which was just an amazing journey that I'll share with you on another video. But this one is about wanting to self-publish or traditional publish. Now for me guys, when I did my research on traditional publishing, it wasn't that good when I did my research. Like the reviews were bad. A lot of the reviews where authors who had gone down that path said, you know, big publishing houses can change your title. They can send your work to their people to go over your work. They can change content inside their dialogue, characters, change the names. And I'm thinking, why? Why would you even go down that path if they're going to do that to your precious work? So then when I looked at self-publishing, it was pretty simple. Self-publish, do a proofread, maybe do some editing or do the editing yourself. Hey, why not? And then just upload it, get all your measurements right, get your graphics, blah, 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 and boom, you are an author. So that seemed quite easy. Well, it is an easy path. So I was looking at doing that until the last sort of month. And in the last month, guys, I have been doing vertical learning. Seriously, vertical learning. If you have a personality like mine, where my personality is, if I decide to do something, it's 100%. And I have to become the best version I can in that endeavor, that field of expertise. Does that make sense to you? And maybe you can relate to that. So when I looked at the self-publishing path, it's easy. There wasn't much to it. I need to grow, and I know I need to grow as a writer to become the best version of me. You know, I'm learning just so much at the moment. And in this traditional path, I learned that to end up on the shelves of bookstores, you need to backtrack it, you need an agent. Agents are super hard to find. Getting a response from an agent is extremely challenging. You need to understand what a query letter is. You need to understand the right fit in genres that they're looking for. There's just so much learning. The knockbacks that people get submitting their work to different agents. Then agents, if they do respond, they might want a partial or a full manuscript. What does that even mean, right? When you're learning the ropes for all of this world of writing and publishing. And then if the agent believes in you, your story, they have to pitch it to the publishing houses, right? So there's so much skin in the game from them, because they're like in sports. A lot of my background is from sports, so it's like a scout finding a player and then pitching that player to a club to then get them signed up. So it's the same sort of process, right? And then a publishing house, if you're a debut author, well, it's pretty risky. No one knows you. No one knows who you are, so they've got to then invest in you. And there's just so much learning in that traditional publishing route. So when you look at that sphere of work compared to this tiny little press a button and you're a self-published author, for someone like me, this is more more valuable. It's so much more valuable because there's so much to learn and there's so much growth. Learn and growth, correct? So there's so much for me to learn, to hone my new craft, to become the best version of me in this sphere here. So if you are like me and you enjoy the process of grafting, of learning, of becoming a better writer, then I would suggest you look at traditional publishing as opposed to self-publishing. Let me put it to you this way. If you see Amazon #1 book and it's self-published compared to New York best-selling Times in a bookstore, which one do you respect more? Well, of course, you respect this one more. The more research you do about how difficult it is to find an agent to respond to you, to go through all of those mechanisms I just spoke about, when you understand that process to then end up in a bookstore and be voted #1 best author or book of the year, whatever it is, that is so much more weighty, that is so much more valuable than someone who's #1 on Amazon. And you can search plenty of YouTube videos about how to actually get #1 Amazon, lowering your price for a couple of days and all these different ways to try and secure #1. It means nothing. Did you know a lot of agents, if you say you self-publish, they want to know how many copies you've actually sold? Because they know you can say you're a self-published author, but doesn't mean anyone bought your work, right? It's ridiculous. So guys, that's what changed my mind from looking at the self-publishing path early on to the traditional route, which I am now going to take with my fantasy novel. So, if that's you, if you're an aspiring writer in whatever genre you're in and you want to grow, please, you should want to grow, right? Not just, you've got to get your story out, don't get me wrong, but you've got to grow in the process. A couple of things inside this sphere over here was like, you get the difference between a beta reader and a critique partner, finding groups that have critique partners, understanding the relationships between them. There's just so much learning for you as a writer, I believe, inside this space. At the end of the day, I'm a rookie writer who wants to be the best version of that. And when I release my first novel, I want to be proud of what I release to the world. The big ambition, though, is to get it on as a screenplay and pitch it to Netflix or Amazon or one of those. All right, that's it for today. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, hit the bell, which is the notifications. I do some reading of different chapters to my audience because I believe if you write, you should also learn to read out loud as well. All right, see you next time, guys.